everyone, it's Emaan Aquil She, author of 2 books. Don't forget to watch me with Sophiya Anjam on S Stories.
Assalamu alaikum, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome to yet again another edition of the S Stories right here on Sophiya Anjam's official YouTube channel, which of course we air every Friday on YouTube at 7 p.m. कोई ना कोई guest आता है, कोई ना कोई अच्छी बात हम कर रहे होते हैं. And you know, I'm very excited today. I'm very happy because I'm surrounded by a lot of positive energy and a lot of really nice vibes and this beautiful aura. It feels very colorful, it feels very calm, it feels very relaxed. At the same time, it feels very relevant. So today on the show we have a guest who's very young, and I remember at her age I was probably watching cartoons or I don't know, going out on my bike and just talking to my friends or watching TV shows. You know, at her age she's actually the author of 2 novels. She's written 2 books. She also sings. She's won a lot of competitions. She traveled around the world and represented the name of Pakistan. So presenting Emaan Aquil. Assalamu alaikum, beautiful girl. How are you? Welcome to the show.
Assalamu alaikum. Thank you so much for having me.
I'm
pleasure.
Honored. My pleasure. I absolutely love your earrings, you know.
Thank you.
My attention is diverted right now with her beautiful earrings.
Thank you.
So Emaan, you're 15 years of age.
Yes.
At this point of time. And again, you know, you've mashallah written 2 books. You sing and you've represented the name of Pakistan across the country, right? So I want to take a step back and I want to know a little bit about Emaan as a baby, okay? And as a toddler when she was growing up. So talk to me about your childhood, you know, your grandparents, your parents.
I believe behind every success there is support and motivation of a lot of people. For example, I had my amazing grandparents who have always been behind everything I do. They've been there to cheer me on. My Nana recently passed away.
May Allah bless his soul.
Thank you. We've been through this horrid time recently, but I'm just doing everything for him to make him proud.
I'm sure he's smiling up above and looking at you and feeling so proud.
Thank you.
You are a reflection of your Nana though, yes?
Thank you.
In some way, yes.
So then I had the support of my parents. They have always worked so hard on me, constantly motivating me, encouraging me, never letting me think that I can't do something. So constantly I was propelled towards books, towards my own passion basically. I was never forced to do anything, so it was all about reading and discovering your inner self.
Lovely, that's lovely. Okay, so I remember as a kid, you know, I used to love going to Lahore Gymkhana, renting out books, and there was Alif Laila library over here. I don't know, you're too young to understand. I feel ancient as I speak. But you know, I was a reader and I was a collector. So let's talk about your earlier memories of sort of collecting books and reading them. What were you reading?
I used to love Enid Blyton when I was young, when I was in prep. I used to love Enid Blyton. There used to be a library at our school. And then, of course, my mom always took me to readings, which was my personal favorite.
I love your mom. I love the kind of influence she has on your life.
Yes,
Bravo.
That's very true.
Yes.
So I used to read Enid Blyton, I used to read all kinds of these books when I was in prep.
Okay.
So when I went to grade 1, I started the Harry Potter series.
Oh, lovely.
I was drawn to them
I love
inexplicably.
them. You know, my friends make fun of me. They're like, "Aap kyun mere Harry Potter padhne ke?" I'm like, I don't care, okay? The magic in it is real.
Exactly.
Yes.
I believe some books are for anyone at
right?
any time.
No age limits.
True, very true.
Even Enid Blyton, I'm surprised at your age you're actually reading them, because I used to read them at your age, but the kids nowadays don't know.
Yeah, I've come quite a long way from Enid Blyton though, but I loved Enid Blyton back in the golden days of my childhood.
Absolutely. Okay, right. So, you know, you're interested in reading. This sounds lovely. Now, let's talk about your exposure to the international world. You were the flag bearer as well. You held the Pakistani flag around the world and you traveled to different countries as well. Let's talk about that. How did that happen?
It started my first international competition it started from when I was in grade 6.
Okay.
I took part in a competition called Roots to Roots. So we basically had to exchange letters with Indian students. So it started like that. So I was selected from my school in grade 6 to take part in an exchange program, go there, meet our pen pals and all. So we went there for a day.
Pen pals? I thought it was an ancient concept, you know, because I remember having pen pals like back in the day. I don't know if it still existed, but good to know.
Yeah, so it was an amazing experience. I think the goal of it was to engage in those traditional ways, the good old days that we've forgotten. So we went to India, so it was cut short. But
so who went to India? Let's talk about the team. So your family wasn't there with you.
No,
but
they
it
weren't.
was just the school setup and then your friends.
Yes.
Yeah. So were you nervous and butterflies in your stomach?
Yes, definitely. Yeah. I was very nervous at the start. But then, you know, the support of my friends, my teachers, and then it overall became such a great experience.
Yeah.
Traveling and all. So I love traveling. I've traveled several times with my family, but never like this when I was in grade 6.
Right. So let's talk about your first travel. Do you remember the first time that you actually boarded a plane?
Yes, I do. It's very hazy. I was 3.5, maybe 4.
Yeah.
So I went to Dubai.
Okay.
So it was incredible. I still clearly remember Burj Khalifa.
Really?
Yes.
It's surprising you have a solid memory of the time that you were almost 4.
Yes, it was amazing. I think it stuck to me because it was so majestic and all that I loved it.
Yeah, I'm sure you did. Okay, so that's interesting. So tell me about the 2 things that you learned during your trip to India.
I learned that despite everything, you should always stick to the good old ways. As I said, we exchanged letters, we were pen pals. So these things have become obsolete in these days' time. So we're progressing so fast that we hardly look upon our letter writing days. So one of them was to always look back on good times, and you know, when life is being too fast, you should go back to your roots. And the second one I learned at that time, it was my first lesson, that going abroad defines your world. I mean, it opens you up to a whole new perspective.
Absolutely.
It's incredible.
And you know, acceptance of different cultures, because perhaps in our society we're conditioned to act in a certain way, or to think in a certain way, and to be a certain way. So when you meet different individuals, different people in different countries, you realize, hey, you know what? I didn't know this thing existed, or how you behave existed in the first place. So, you being the flag bearer, let's talk about that also. Yeah.
So I was selected for a competition, World Scholars Cup. So it had 3 rounds, the regional one in Lahore. I got a trophy in that with medals. Thank you.
Yes.
Then we progressed to the globals, where I went to Kuala Lumpur. I became the top scholar from my school. And then later on, the final round at Yale University, I was in grade 7. So we had this competition to see who would be the flag bearer. So from Pakistan, I was selected to bear the flag.
Mashallah, you know, I actually saw the picture as well. In fact, I'm going to show it to you on the screen as well in just a bit. So what were you thinking? What were your feelings like, you know, when you were walking and you had the flag of Pakistan that you were waving?
It was an out of the world experience. I felt like I was disconnected to reality all of a sudden.
Right?
So many eyes on me, and you know, I was so proud to represent Pakistan at such a level.
Yeah. That's lovely. I think that sounds wonderful. Okay, so now let's come to your first book. I believe you have a few copies over here as well. Yes, so let's take a look at them. Which ones do we have here?
We have Annalisa and the Witch Fairy.
Okay, so this was the first one.
Yes, this is the first one. I wrote it when I was 8.
Yes.
Finished it when I was 9.
Yeah.
So at that time, I was very influenced with those Harry Potter stories
magical
and all.
Creatures.
Magical, exactly.
Yes.
So I was very influenced by that. And I wondered, why isn't a villain's perspective ever discussed? I mean, even if you look at the Disney movies, the witch gets punished or dies or cursed.
But why did she do what she did?
Exactly.
What brought her to that point?
Exactly.
Interesting. Okay.
And what if she wants to change?
Sure.
I mean, what if she is finally regretting her mistakes?
Yeah, so it's not black and white, right? There's shades of grey in between.
Definitely. There's a grey in between. So in my first book, Annalisa and the Witch Fairy, I explored the grey. I explored a witch who wanted to atone for her mistakes, for all the curses that she's cast, and she wants to come to the light. So this was her journey of finding the good in herself.
Emaan, that's a very deep thought at the age of 8, mashallah. You know, I think it's reflective of our society as well.
Very
you know how
true.
we like to paint anyone white or black, tum sahi ho, tum galat ho, tumne ye kiya, tumne wo kiya, you know, the blame game. But I feel that everyone deserves a second chance.
Very true.
Yes, and always you should think about the other side of the picture as well. So that's lovely. Can you show the book, please, to all our viewers? And also, yes, I want everyone to see the book cover as well. Who did the artwork for this?
There is a company called The Doers.
Okay.
So my uncle, Emaan Masood,
Yeah.
he is a big advertiser, so
Okay.
he made the cover for this.
All right, that's good. And would you like to read something from this? You know,
Yes.
some of your favorite lines, perhaps?
Of course. I love the first chapter.
Okay. How many chapters does this book have?
It has 26.
Okay, all right. What did you write in the note? Is it dedicated to somebody?
Yes, it is
Yes?
dedicated to my principals,
Yeah.
Ma'am Masoon and Ma'am Gulrukh Rahman from LGS 101,
Right.
and all my lovely teachers.
Okay.
So it's dedicated to them.
Lovely, lovely. I'm sure they must be so proud of you. Let's hear it.
A dream. Where am I? What's going on? It's such a gloomy land. There's nothing to be seen here for miles. Oh, this mist. Where is it coming from? I can't make out anything with this dense mist surrounding me, thought Annalisa, looking around curiously. It was indeed a really strange place. Everything was colored black and white. It looked as if it was painted to be gloomy. There was darkness all around. The cottages' roofs were thatched and looked old. There was no grass, just rotting flowers and the scent of gloom staining the air.
Ay, lovely. You know what? Honestly, I'm just having a flashback right now because I used to love reading. And you know, I'll tell you something. I'll share a story. When I was about 10 years old, I decided to write a book. And I was like, this is going to be my novel. And I still remember the name and I was so excited. So I can completely understand the excitement that you're having. Now, fast forward to your second book. Let's talk a little bit about that.
Yes, so I wrote my second book. Here it is.
Okay. Ooh, it's all packed, huh?
Yeah, it's called
Okay.
Beneath the Depths.
Okay.
So I wrote this when I was 11
Okay.
in grade 6. So by this time, I believe I was quite matured by then. So I still wasn't fully out of my love for fantasy.
Sure.
But I wanted to write something practical. I wanted to give a message that would enlighten my readers, something that would raise awareness on an important issue. In this case, climate change. So I talk about climate change, how, more specifically ocean pollution.
Okay.
How it is extremely perilous, not to us, but to the generations to come.
Right.
So this is something that is destroying us. It's digging its roots into us. It's upending our world. And we hardly seem to realize it. So this was my major concern.
Right.
So I wrote it in a way that would be alluring to young readers. So I mentioned mermaids, how they go on a journey of self-discovery.
Okay.
And at the same time, they uncover a plot against the humans.
Okay, so it's magic and realness together.
Yes.
So perhaps you've mentioned a few important details that you read somewhere, probably in school, or you attended a seminar, workshop, saw some YouTube videos, or perhaps some activists, environmentalists as well.
Yes.
What did you learn about the environment? What are we doing wrong?
I feel that we as a nation, as a whole world actually,
Yeah.
we as a whole world are so
It's a global
completely, yes, it's a global issue. We are so completely lost in our daily lives
Yeah.
that we do not focus on the future. We are looking at the small picture here. We need to look at a big picture.
Yeah.
We need to come together. I mean, there are so many carbon emissions, so much pollution, ocean pollution, air pollution. It's basically destroying us.
Absolutely.
We are destroying ourselves. So what we need to do is we need to come to a consensus. We need to learn that in these trying times, we should stick together rather than fight over our differences. This is a global issue. This will affect everyone. This affects the poor, the rich, the influential. This affects everyone.
Sure.
So we should come together to focus on this dire issue.
Okay, lovely. That's great. And I also feel that there are so many different things that we can do at an individual level. लोग कहते हैं ना अच्छा जी हम क्या करें लोगों को देखें या पाकिस्तान में सब कुछ चलता है. You can do as little or as much by just saving water, by closing the tap when it's required, by not
Exactly.
using plastic, by not throwing wrappers outside your window, by using things such as recycled items, so many things that we can do at an individual level. So that's lovely. Okay, so we're done with your reading habits and your writing habits now, and we talked a little bit about your history, your exposure around the world. Now let's talk a little bit, before I jump towards the second tier, a little bit about your favorite authors these days and what are you reading, what are you inclined towards? You read all those newspapers and articles online?
I used to read Reader's Digest, so I love Reader's Digest, all the fun facts and all. So that's the magazine I read.
Did you know?
Yes, exactly. I love
Yeah,
those.
yeah.
So I read YA fantasy.
Okay.
I've got a lot of good books. Like I have them all in my arsenal. So
Okay.
I write all the books that I've read. So just so you know, I have a whole thing. I have a whole place where I keep the names.
I wanted to ask you that you have like this, because I'm visualizing a library at your place, which is
Yes.
so yours and customized for you, for Emaan for sure.
Yes, so
Yes?
I have 3 tall shelves. They reach to the ceiling like this high.
Okay.
And they are stocked up with all my favorites since childhood to now. So all the times I've satisfied my reading cravings,
Yeah.
gone to readings, Liberty books, it's all there.
Lovely. Mashallah, mashallah. I'm really, really proud of you. So now, I recently discovered that she's not just a great reader and a great writer, or probably perhaps a brilliant public speaker and very confident, mashallah, at a young age. She's also a singer. So मौके का फायदा उठाते हुए आप हमारे लिए आज क्या गुनगुनाएंगी? पहले तो let's talk about your kind of music. What do you like to listen to?
I listen to all kinds of music. I listen to singers like Selena Gomez,
Okay.
Taylor Swift, and I listen to strings.
Really?
I
Interesting.
love strings.
Who doesn't love strings? Everyone
Yes,
loves them.
exactly.
They're fantastic.
Exactly.
They've been in the business for more than 30 years.
Yes.
They just celebrated their 30 years by actually starting off these strings of musical concerts and an album. Okay, and what about your favorite singers?
They are Taylor Swift and Selena Gomez.
All right, so Taylor Swift, Selena Gomez, strings, yes?
Yes.
And what you're going to be singing for us today?
I have this song which is really relevant to my fantastical inclinations. It's an English song.
Okay.
So it's called Mad at Disney. So I recently listened to it.
All right.
And I loved it a lot. So I put my own spin to it. It had the lyrics of being upset about Disney for giving you false dreams.
Oh, true.
But then I reformed it a bit.
Yeah, happily ever after.
Happily
and
ever
the prince
after.
rescuing the princess and all of
Yes.
that. Okay.
So should I sing?
Yes, absolutely. Go for it.
I'm mad at Disney, Disney. They tricked me. Still I'm wishing on my shooting star. Even though I'm 10 and something, I'm still discovering who I am and what I'm not. Call me a vain optimist, but I still believe in it. Finding your fairy tale is worth it. Even though I felt bad love, I felt sad love. Sometimes happy love is worth giving up. I felt hurt love by the word love, but I'm still going to keep on believing. I'm still going to keep on believing. I'm still going to keep on believing.
All right, it's really sweet. And
Thank you.
I love the way that you think. Your perspective in life, I believe that's lovely.
Thank
so
you.
kudos to you and to your family members, I suppose. I really like to give a shout out to your mom and dad both, perhaps your family entirely, your grandparents as well,
Yes.
for raising you in a way that you become an inspiration for people your age. And that brings me to the last tier of our sort of interview chit chat session as well, that बहुत सारे बच्चों की जो families इतनी supportive नहीं होती. Sometimes they have dreams, but they're unable to fulfill those dreams either because of their family members,
Yes.
there's a hindrance, or because of their own insecurities or fear, the fear of failure. So what would be your take-home advice to all those kids or perhaps young adults who are struggling in their lives and trying to pursue those dreams but are unable to do so?
Dreams, I believe, are so crucial to your development. You should always have dreams, goals, something you want to achieve in life. It gives you a purpose, But as you mentioned, there are a lot of things there are a lot of objectives that are, that you have to satisfy, things that you have to fulfill, expectations, that you can have so much weight on you. You can have like unsupportive family members, own securities, as you mentioned. So my advice to all those struggling with such issues is you should never let anyone or anything, including yourself, hinder your goals and your dreams. You have the power to be whatever you want. You only have to believe in yourself, follow your dreams. You should, the quote I live by is, never ever mind other people's opinions. Everyone has an opinion. You cannot please everyone.
Yep.
It's humanly impossible. And everyone lays their expectations on you. So what you have to do is, you have to take a moment, collect yourself, and you should learn to let go of everything that's piled up onto you and focus on only yourself, your dreams, and your goals.
Bravo. Emaan for president.
Thank you.
Okay, it was such a pleasure, Emaan, to have you over. I hope that you enjoyed the show.
Thank you so much. I had an absolute blast.
Well, my pleasure. But I was just thinking, this question popped up in my head. So, after 10 years, when you be 25, inshallah, how do you visualize yourself? Where do you see yourself at? What are you doing?
I haven't really thought about what I'm going to be when I'm grown up. So I do want to take part in any organization, any place. I just want to be at a place where I can promote Pakistan, whatever I do. Pakistan has given so much to me, and I want to give back to it, because this, I feel, is a duty that I have to fulfill. For example, the flag bearer thing you mentioned.
Yes.
So that was so liberating. That was so amazing. Like, that feeling was out of this world.
Yes.
So I want to be able to wake up every morning and have that feeling every day.
Lovely. So you want to just capture that moment altogether,
Yes.
that feeling, right? So I'm sure a lot of people are wondering that how can you get hold of your books and perhaps get in touch with you? So would you like to give out perhaps an email ID or a website
Yes,
or a number?
sure. So you can order my books at my email address. You can inbox me at emaanaquil@gmail.com. I do have a Facebook page, EMAANAQUIL, and an Instagram page at beneath.the.depth.
Which you should be using more.
Yes, I should.
Be more active on it, okay? Thank you so much, sweetie. Such a pleasure. Keep on making us proud.
Thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for me to say goodbye to all of you. And I was in such a happy mood today, talking to this young individual who has so much of, promising talent, the future of our country, inshallah. I think इसके साथ साथ दो चार पहलू हमें नज़र आते हैं. एक तो नज़रिया ये है कि जो हमारे ख़ानदान हैं, हमारे पाकिस्तान में, I think जितने भी बच्चे हैं, उनको उनकी एजुकेशन को क्वेश्चन करना चाहिए, yes, पर उनके टैलेंट को भी जो है ना वो देखना चाहिए. For example, somebody could be probably good at cooking, somebody could be good at painting, somebody could be good at reading, writing, probably extracurricular activities, sports. You have to be vigilant, but most important, you have to be understanding and observant of their talent. So be their support, cushion their education forward, yes, but be their support at what they're really good at. They say that the best way to fulfill your dream is to wake up. So let's do that and make it happen. Thank you so much for watching. Keep the spirit alive. Bye-bye.